Hello, hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome to a new edition of our show titled Speak of Africa. We have another great show for you today. But before we begin, as usual, we want to say special thanks to all our viewers. If this is the first time you're watching this show, we are inviting you to subscribe. If you are a subscriber, we thank you very much for subscribing to this show. Whenever we have a new video, you can watch it. Immediately we upload the video. Subscribers are always the first ones to see and watch the video with their friends and family. Then, of course, we also have to say special thanks to our customers. We have a lot of businesses. In fact, we just concluded the virtual telehealth conference a few days ago. And we thank our customers and the attendees. This was a great conference. We brought you a whole lot of information. We had two famous guest speakers. We had Dr. Wilma Hunt-Watts, a podiatrist. She works at the Veterans Hospital, and she also works in New York as a podiatrist. But she has a special touch with telehealth and telemedicine. She did a wonderful presentation, which we're going to share with a lot of those who did not come to the conference. We'll share with everybody. In addition, we also had Mr. Bob Eaton. Mr. Bob Eaton is the VP of Eagle Bank. We also brought him to the conference because we wanted him to talk about money. How do you finance a building for your practice? If you want to open a healthcare business, how do you finance it? So we brought the Vice President of Eagle Bank, Mr. Bob Eaton, to talk to you about this. Besides, I also spent time talking about our new software, which is called Alexa HTC. We have developed a new module for telehealth and telemedicine. And I just want you to take a sneak preview of our product for telehealth. You can just take just like a minute just to look at a sneak peek at this product. Take a minute, look at it.
I create a patient for this provider.
Thank you for watching the little video on our telehealth product. We have other products in healthcare. So whatever healthcare business you want to do, we are willing to support you. We have the products and we have the technology to help you beat the competition. Whether you want to do marketing, writing business plans, we can do all of that for you. We're already helping a lot of your peers to do all of these things. So if you're not doing it, soon your peers would win and you will lose. In business, we work as if it is warfare. Those who work with us always win the war because we plan to win. Next, we're going to take you now to our book review segment. The book we are going to review today is written by Paul Collier. The book is titled Wars, Guns, and Votes: Democracy in Dangerous Places. And we think it is a good book to look at the way democracy operates in a lot of places. And with what is happening in the world today, this book is really pertinent because the flashpoint today is Ukraine. Ukraine is not part of Africa. So why are we speaking about Ukraine on an African show? Well, we're speaking about Ukraine because the last few weeks we've been talking to you about the resurgence of the Cold War. The Cold War between the United States of America and the Russian Federation. Before, it used to be the Russian Federation, which morphed into emerged from the USSR to the Russian Federation. It used to be the Russian Federation was a whole empire, the Soviet Empire. The Soviet Empire was competing with the United States of America. But today, in 1991, the Soviet Empire collapsed, and most of those Soviet republics broke away. Ukraine was one of those republics. When you look at the problem that is happening today in Ukraine, it dates back to history, and we don't have a lot of time on this show to really focus on Ukrainian history. But what makes us show a lot of interest on this show is because a lot of Africans are in Ukraine. As I speak to you today, this war is affecting so many Africans. You will not believe this. Africans from South Africa, Africans from Senegal, Africans from Nigeria, Africans from Mali, Africans from Ghana, Africans from Central African Republic, Africans from Burkina Faso, Africans from Ambazonia and La Republic of Cameroon. Most of them are in Ukraine. Why are they in Ukraine? We find out that a lot of these Africans are in Ukraine as students. In the old days, a lot of Africans used to go to Russia to study at Patrice Lumumba University. But we've noticed that today, it looks like the cost of medicine is very, very high in a lot of places, and a lot of African countries do not have good medical schools. Sometimes, access to these medical schools is limited. As a result, most Africans leave their country and travel to Ukraine to study. We understand that it costs just about $6,000 a year to study medicine in Ukraine. By contrast, it costs a whole lot of money to study medicine in other Eastern European countries. So this is why a lot of Africans are going to Ukraine to study. So many of these Africans are trapped. When Russia declared war on Ukraine, it caught a lot of people off guard. And among these people were the African students who are studying in Ukraine. We can see a lot of them complaining. And you know, our people also face a lot of racism. So most of them are trapped. They want to get out of Ukraine, but they are trapped in this war environment. So we really feel sorry for our people, and which is why we are drawing attention to the war in Ukraine, because a lot of our people are suffering. When Africans suffer, we have to draw attention to it. Most of them really wish their governments can make moves to eject them from the war zone. There's a whole lot happening, I'm sure. If you've been watching CNN and most of the Western news channels, you should have been following up what is happening in Ukraine. We're not really concerned about the politics, because when we look at the politics, it concerns Russia and the United States of America. It doesn't really concern Africa. Africa has really suffered as a colony of most of these Western powers. Every African country, apart from, say, Ethiopia, most African countries have been colonized by the Europeans. It's true, Russia never colonized any country in Africa. America also never colonized any country in Africa. Africa was colonized mostly by the Europeans. We've talked about the Berlin Conference and the way Africa was partitioned. We've talked about that before. But what we are doing on the show of today, we really want to draw attention to the plight of Africans. We look at not only the TV, even on social media, you can really watch what is happening. It looks like the Ukrainians under Zelensky are really putting off very stiff resistance to the Russians. And as it seems, there may be a chance for the two parties to work some kind of deal. There have always been agreements between Russia and Ukraine. So we don't even want to get into the politics. For today, we are more concerned about the fate of Africans who are trapped in this war zone. You can see a lot of videos showing the war taking place in Ukraine, the way the Ukrainians are fighting. But what is the African Union doing? That's the question I will ask you. We saw Faki Mohammed, who says he's the chairperson of the AU. What is the African Union doing in this crisis? What are they telling Russia? What are they telling the United States? Well, the African Union is like a toothless bulldog. They're not really doing anything. They are just keeping quiet. They are silent about the crisis. They're not really doing anything. Okay? Then what about Ambazonia? Well, for the people of Ambazonia, we think the crisis in Ukraine teaches a lot of lessons. The armed conflict in Ambazonia, we can see that the Ambazonians can learn a lot of lessons from the Ukrainians. What the Ukrainians are doing is they are fighting for their freedom. And they are not just sitting quietly. What the president of Ukraine, Zelensky, is a Jew. The Jewish people have always fought for their freedom. They are not just going to sit and allow you to dominate them. And this is what the Ambazonians need to learn. But America is already supporting Zelensky in Ukraine. President Zelensky, America is supporting him. Why are they not supporting Ambazonia? It's because we do not have any pressure groups in the United States that can fight for our interests. Mr. Tibor Nagy, the former Undersecretary for Africa, had explained to the Ambazonian people that, listen, you guys cannot really make inroads in the United States. The United Nations will never listen to you guys because you are a bunch of rascals. You don't really have a way to sit and present your message in a very coherent fashion. If you can do this, then you win a lot of favors in Washington. Because America has 3 power centers. The president doesn't dominate everything. The presidency is one power center. The Congress is another power center. Then the Supreme Court is a 3rd power center. So you need to learn how to lobby all these 3 power centers. That's how things are done in the United States. A lot of foreign countries hire lobbies. So instead of just making noise and fighting each other, the people of Ambazonia, especially those who live in the diaspora, last week I called them coyotes, and they were angry that I called them coyotes. I called them coyotes because that's what they are. They need to sit, think with big brains to come up with a way to solve their problem. Freedom is not a walk in the park. You need to plan it. That's what others are doing. Look at what Ukraine is doing today. Why can you not learn lessons from Ukraine? The Ukrainian diaspora, they are the ones fueling the support for this war all over the world. So the Ambazonian diaspora should be playing a positive role. Instead of fighting each other and wrangling for nothing, they need to come together, forget about their differences, and work on a common agenda for the Ambazonian people. If this happens, then their people will not be dying in vain. They will be fighting and winning. In fact, this is what the Ambazonian people need to do. This week, we saw what the Manu guys are doing, and they too are coming up with their own unity warriors who want to face La République. We can show you the video in a moment. Take a look at the video of the Manu warriors who are bringing unity to Ambazonia.
I don't like say. My dear brothers and sisters, all for one.
One for all.
One for all.
All for one.
Yeah, as you can see, this is the Manu Empowerment Warriors. Today, the 17th of February, 2022, that they have come together to form the unity. And among them here, we have Elder Awaz, we have Elder Obakoma, we have Elder Soldier Unknown, we have Cross, we have Spirit Man, and we have Prosper, Omega, and many of them. With this, you will see they are here in their camp. As you can see, this I will start from my right, where I have Elder Awaz. He will introduce himself. Good morning.
Good morning
Yeah.
to everyone. I'm called Elder Awaz from my Cameroon village.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. I'm called Elder Scorpion from Buki.
This is Scorpion, the dangerous scorpion that you always hear from Manu. You can see that guy there from Aquaya.
Omega
International from Aquaya, Vipers. Next to him you have Yamdom, AK Sniper, the highest sniper we have in Manu. You can see from the right here you have Overcomer, the dangerous guy that you know him. Then from next you have Prosper from Aquaya. Then next to him you have the dangerous man. Cross and die. You attempt, your life is gone. This is the most dangerous man we have, the whole of Manu, as you can see. man, I don't even need to say more. Right on his right here, you have the unknown soldier. That's the spirit man. He works with the spirit man also closely. He disappears and appears. You can see him. Thank you guys so much, Mr. Overcome. Unknown soldier, can we hear from you?
Yeah, thank you very much, my people. This one, unknown soldier, and I talk from Akwaya South, MBC village.
That's Invisible Village. I will go to Cross to ask him, what about this unity warrior? What do you have to say?
Well, my dear brothers, I don't have much to say. The only thing I need but support. I need support from this forum. I need support from them.
As you can hear him, the only cry they have is that the material they have.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching the video of the Ambazonians from Manu Division, who are also known as the Unity Warriors. They are forming their movement. We hope they can start taking on their enemy, and this will be a good thing. That's much of what is really happening, because in Ambazonia, we don't really see anything else happening other than tit for tat killing. La République is killing people. The Ambazonians are retaliating. So it's just like tit for tat. Nothing is really moving forward. So they need to break this lock jam so that things can start moving forward. That's the advice we can give you. Learn many lessons from the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians are fighters. America sent them Stinger missiles, and they are using them to great effect. They are using them to really destroy a lot of Russian tanks. It looks like for the first time, Mr. Vladimir Putin of Russia cannot hide the fact that the guys in Ukraine are really fighting hard. They are inflicting a lot of casualties on the occupiers and the invaders of Russia. The Russian invaders are really facing the brunt of their own invasion. So it's really sad. This is what the Ambazonian people need to learn. You cannot just sit and fold your arms and complain about La République. You need to fight. And you need to take advantage. You need to get your people to lobby for you. Lobby in the United States, lobby in Europe, so that people can support you. People will not support you if you don't campaign for support. So campaign for support, Ambazonian. Campaign for support, okay? Then, from Ambazonia, we move to La République du Cameroon. Well, one of the stories we saw in La République du Cameroon concerns the families burying their dead after the stampede at Olembe Stadium. The AFCON match is gone, but the people are still to bury their dead, and they were just complaining that the government of La République du Cameroon is not really helping them. Instead, we saw a video. Somebody is saying that Paula Tanganji is asking the Cameroonians who have been trapped in Ukraine to run into the bushes, just like the guys who are fighting on the ground. So he says, run into the bushes, run into the bushes. That's another joke, right? So if they can try to do this, it will really help a lot. Then at the same time, it looks like a lot of the Cameroonians in the north, they are really facing a whole lot of issues, especially with the Médecins Sans Frontières, Doctors Without Borders. Doctors Without Borders is really a group of doctors who try to help people who are hurt. They go across different borders trying to help people, but because of the Anglophone crisis, it looks like these doctors have become a pariah because the government of La République du Cameroon doesn't like to see them. They feel like they are taking care of the Ambazonian Restoration Forces. Then even when in the north of Cameroon, they feel they are also supporting the guys who are up there fighting against the government of Paul Biya. So this is why the Médecins Sans Frontières, Doctors Without Borders, they have become the target of the government and even some of the hoodlums. They are really preying on them. These guys are just doing their job, but they are pulled from left to right. So this is not really an easy job. I really feel sorry for the Doctors Without Borders, Les Médecins Sans Frontières. Next, we go to Burkina Faso.
Hey, yo, Shape, I thought you was gonna take me to this place so I could get my taxes done. You know I'm trying to buy a new house. What's up?
Let's get it on. If you're searching for a house, call up my man Prince Ojong, the best in real estate. Take it from your guy's shape. When I say his services are the best in the states, word is born. He even take care of your tax forms, fat refunds. So come, get your business done. Consultations, financial organization, fast processing, no waiting. This man is amazing. The Prince.
Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131.
Burkina Faso also is asking, when is democracy going to come to our country? The military junta is telling them to wait for democracy, which is why we told you in our book review, guns, wars, guns, and votes. What is happening on the ground, it makes democracy difficult. Guns, wars, guns, and votes make democracy a dangerous place in Africa. Okay? So next, we move to the Central African Republic. A lot of people in the Central African Republic too have been affected by the Ukrainian crisis, where Russia is invading Ukraine. They have been affected, but this week we saw that some of the citizens, especially those who are pro-government, those who support the government of Assange Touadera, they feel like Russia is a hero and they are praising Russia. But we know that with the conflict in Ukraine, the relationship between Africa and Russia is going to be tested. It's going to be tested a great deal. So most of these countries that are flirting with Russia, we're just warning them that they better be careful, because it looks like a lot of these leaders who are flirting with Russia will be tested. You may not be Assad, okay? Assad of Syria was lucky. Russia supported him full-heartedly. But is Russia going to support Touadera full-heartedly? It remains to be seen. So far, the citizens are happy because Russia is supporting Touadera. The Western forces of France have not been able to topple him from power. So Touadera is still in charge. Okay? Next, we'll move to Ghana. Ghana also is a country where there are a lot of students studying in Ukraine. And most of these students are really complaining that they have been trapped in Ukraine. You can see a lot of videos of the conflict. A lot of the people are running away. But it looks like most of these African students are trapped. They cannot go anywhere. And it's really sad that their government have not made any moves to evacuate them. Their cry is, evacuate us, take us from here. American governments tend to value their citizens, no matter where these citizens are. If you're an American citizen, when things happen to you, the American government ejects you from wherever you are. But it looks like most African governments are weak, and they don't even care about their citizens, which is why most of these citizens do not really love their countries. The governments of those countries do not really show that they love their citizens. So the sense of patriotism of these citizens is very low as a result. Okay? So will the Ghanaian government do something to eject most of these Ghanaians studying in Ukraine? We've told you, a lot of Ghanaians are studying in Ukraine and they are trapped, while some of the Ukrainians are running to places like Poland. The Africans have nowhere to go. Some of these Ukrainians have cars, so they drive to Poland. Some cannot travel because the railway station is not functional anymore, so the people are trapped. So what are these Africans going to do? Are they going to just stay there and be killed? That's the problem we face for the news this week. Okay? Next, we'll move to Mali. Mali, too, is a country where they feel, and which is why there is so much anti-French feeling in Mali. But Moscow is right there. The Wagner Group is right there. Mali has asked the French forces to leave. So the love affair with Mali is no longer with the French, it's now with the Russians. So this is a difficult situation now in Mali, with also citizens suffering in Ukraine. Are they going to do anything to bring their people home? It remains to be seen. That's what we're saying with Mali. It remains to be seen. Next, we're going to move from Mali to Nigeria. In the case of Nigeria, a lot of politicians are already talking about the fate of Nigerians who are stuck in Ukraine. This morning, we watched a video of a young Nigerian from the Yoruba ethnic group who is stuck in Ukraine, and he was just complaining about the fate of African students who are studying medicine in Ukraine. Ukraine has very good universities, and the cost of studying medicine is very, very low. So it attracts a lot of Africans who want to get a better education. They go to Ukraine, but now they are trapped because of this war. Is the Buhari government doing anything to eject Nigerians from this war zone? It remains to be seen. Atiku Abubakar, the former vice president under President Olusegun Obasanjo, was first to talk about the plight of Nigerian students who have been trapped in Ukraine. We hope that with his political clout, a lot of these students' problems will be solved, because at this level, Atiku Abubakar is already talking about it, and he's putting pressure on the government of Mr. Buhari to do something for these students. And we support Mr. Atiku Abubakar on this call, because we think the lives of these Nigerian students are very, very valuable, so we have to support them in this effort. So the government should work hard to eject them from Ukraine. And at the same time, when we watch the scene in Nigeria, it looks like Mr. Buhari is already looking forward to May 2023, when he has to really exit the political stage. So we know a lot of guys are still fighting for power. All the world is a stage, and all the men and women are merely players. Mr. Buhari says he has to respect the Constitution. He swore with the Quran that he will uphold the Constitution. He's doing just that. With the end of his 2 terms, he has to retire to his farm. So let the music keep playing. Let the new guys keep jockeying for power. From Nigeria now, we'll go to Senegal. Senegal also is dealing with the plight of students who are trapped in Ukraine. We saw a lot of videos and a lot of blogs talking about Senegalese students who have been trapped in Ukraine. Most of them are studying medicine, and it is really tough what is happening to them, and we hope the government of Macky Sall is now the president of the African Union. What's he going to do for his own people? What is he going to do for other Africans? Will he just going to let Faki Mohammed, who is the chairman of AU, to do nothing about it? Something needs to be done to help Africans who are trapped in Ukraine. And we're using our platform to bring attention to the plight of Africans who are trapped in Ukraine. South Africa, now let's go to South Africa. South Africa is the only country in Africa that had made some pronouncement concerning the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Most of these South African countries have just been quiet. I don't know what they are afraid of. But South Africa, under the government of Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, has been talking about the plight of South Africans who are trapped in Ukraine. So we are sure he's going to make some moves to help South Africans who are trapped over there. We just hope other Africans can do something to help their people who are trapped in Ukraine. So this show will focus on the plight of African students in Ukraine. Students are our future. If we're hoping for a better Africa, we need to support our people. Why are most of these African students studying in Ukraine? We've said it, one, tuition is affordable. Then Eastern Europe also offers an environment where there's also a lot of technology. We've said that we have to emphasize technology. With the new generation, we have to get rid of colonial education. Colonial education is obsolete. We need education that is pragmatic. We need education that can help our people function in the global economy. And technology is at the center. I remember back in the days, when I studied economics, I was told there were 3 factors of production: land, capital, and labor. When I came to America, I realized that technology is a 4th factor of production. And I wish most of these textbooks in Africa can revise their content and add technology as a factor of production. Most of the people today, we have to know that if we are the African youth, if we want to win the future, we have to master technology. Okay? When the Europeans came to Africa, they defeated our forefathers because while our forefathers were fighting with bows and arrows, the Europeans were fighting with the Remington rifles. They can stand from afar and shoot an African. And our people were mesmerized. So let us not be afraid of technology. Let us master technology, okay? We've said it in the past. Technology doesn't belong to any particular race. Technology is not a culture. We've said it many times. Technology is a mode of production. It's a way of producing goods and services. So it is not unique to any particular culture. So as Africans, we can master this technology. Look at China. China has been a communist country for a long time, but they have embraced the capitalist system and they are using it to a good effect. Today, China produces a whole lot of goods. China exports a whole lot of goods to America, which is why you see China cannot really fight America because China needs the American market. Russia may be making a lot of noise. We support the role of Russia in the African struggle, so we're not ignorant. Unlike most Africans who don't know the role Russia played to free a lot of African countries, we do. We know it. But we do not like dictatorship. We still favor freedom. We want freedom to reign. We want freedom to reign in Africa, okay? Which is why most of the time we do not really take sides. With the American and Russian conflict, we don't take sides because we know that the Russians have really contributed to the African liberation struggle. We know that. So we're not ignorant. But we want democracy in Africa, which is what we're telling you on this show. And we want the Africans to focus on quality education in their countries. Look at what India has done. India is a British colony, okay? But once they became independent, they decided to change their educational system. Instead of using the colonial British system, they started using the pragmatic American system, which focuses on services, which focuses on pragmatism, which focuses on the production of goods, which focuses on improvement, constant improvement. When you see America, always new improvements come. You produce a product today, the next day you start improving on it. That's the American way. And this is the education that many Indians, Chinese, and all these other Asians are picking up. So we thank you very much for watching this show, and we tell you thank you very much. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
Medical practice software is too old. Indeed, all the programs are built on MUMPS, technology of the 1950s, and the programs cost too much money. Epic and Cerner cost billions of dollars. Meditech costs thousands of dollars too. In fact, that's why we created AlexiaHTC.com, a new and free EMR/EHR for doctors. AlexiaHTC.com is built for HIPAA. Yes, magical one-screen technology, ease of use, quick charting, amazing e-prescribing, tight labs integration, multi-office difference, because we believe doctors and patients need a break today. Be the first to test drive AlexiaHTC.com. You have nothing to lose, you have everything to gain. Act now. Call 240-350-1131. Alexia Care Corporation at AlexiaHTC.com.
Selling a service or a product? Need buyers? Use the African Nation TV as a channel to reach many viewers. Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131. Act today.